Okay, so am I audible? Can I have yes from all of you? I'm keeping you all mute. Sorry for that, uh, because many people might have some noise at background. So I'm just keeping you all mute. Let's begin. Let's begin with how to find multi-baggers of tomorrow. So that is the agenda. I'm going to share with you step by step analysis how I have been doing it. Okay, so I'm not, I'm sharing what I know of how to find multi baggers of tomorrow. So let's begin. How to find multi baggers of tomorrow? Uh, there are three methods of finding multi baggers. Okay, multi-baggers means the stocks which are going to go up 1x, 2x, 3x in coming years. So how do you find? So typically in my experience, there are three methods of finding multi-baggers. Method number one is filter the stocks. Like you have a lot of websites, so there are a lot of ratios: P ratio, PB ratio, growth ratio, high dividend, this, that, all ratios are there, and you can code the filtration criteria in those websites, and then you can find some stocks and then further analyze them for investment. So that is the method number one, which majority of people use. Method number two is find a stock based on the story, see what is likely to happen in future, and then invest based on the story. Okay, what is likely to happen about this stock, about this sector in future, and then invest in the story. So that is the methodology number two. Methodology number three is combination of one and two. So what I am going to share today and in coming 2 days, Wednesday and Friday, is the combination of one and two, by which I was able to earn money in stock market. So let's go ahead. Let me give you some example, right? Step one is analyzing the numbers, ratios, P ratios, and all. Ashish is asking, can you go to step number one? So it's all about analyzing the ratios and all. That's it. So let's analyze few stories of the past. So what I'm trying to share with you here is how to identify a story, how to understand a story. Okay, once you understand the story, then it is easier to find a multi-bagger, because there are around 5,000 companies in stock market, listed in stock market. Only by going ratios and growth percentage, it is near to impossible. Believe me, it is near to impossible to find a multi-bagger for tomorrow. So step number one, I'll explain a few of my stories, how I went about searching for good companies, what were the clues, how I found those companies based on that stories. Just a minute. Okay, so can we go ahead with for listening the stories? Can I have yes from all of you if we can go ahead? Yes, okay, great. So story number one. Story number one was sometime some 4 5 years ago, a government of India decided to provide Nal se Jal. That means everywhere in India, all the places in India, they will be supplying water from the tap. So that means people had to go struggle, bring the water. So government of India said, "Ki we will send water to every household, and every household will have a tap from which the water will come. Nal se Jal." Great scheme, great planning. This gave me a trigger for finding a good stock. What all companies can come under Nal se Jal? If government is saying I'll send tap water from tap, what all companies will be involved in that? Piping, filtration, Astral pipes, right? So people are giving the name itself. Great. Phenolex pipes and all these pipes will come. Wabag and all, like pipe, there has to be pipe company, there has to be a tap company, there has to be filtration company, someone has to dig the road, they have to lay the pipes, so there will be project management companies and all. And believe me, if you see, the Nal Se Jal itself will have some 10-20 companies, and then you can go and find out which are the good companies which have been doing good things in the past, and then you can shortlist. Easy? Looks good? Are you able to connect with the story? There is a story and then you have stock, right? So story is Nal Se Jal. We hear that, okay, Nal Se Jal, very good. Go and find. There will be only 10 to 20 companies which will be dealing in all this. Analyze which is the good company, which we'll learning in subsequent session, how to analyze a good company and then invest. As simple as that. Second story is biofuel addition, right? Government of India said, okay, we will be adding 20% of fuel, that is petrol and diesel. We will be adding biofuel in this petrol and diesel. The great scheme, it will reduce our crude oil dependency by 10 to 20%. Okay, when you hear that, you all must have received this WhatsApp, Gadkari ji talking about the biofuel. Then we have ethanol, right? Ethanol companies which will be doing that. Like we have Praj Industries, Solar, Balrampur Chini. So these are biofuel is nothing but ethanol. Like it's ethanol is required in alcohol. Ethanol is from sugar and all. So that will be blended there. So immediately once we hear this, we can go search, okay, what is required for doing this. You can find the companies, find good companies among the those companies which will be supplying biofuel, and then you can invest. Third story, which is running like crazy, change in defense equipment policy. Government of India said, okay, we will be not only we will be manufacturing the defense equipment for ourselves, we will be supplying to the other countries also. And you all know HAL, BDL, Dynamatech, all companies are running like crazy. They are going up like crazy. But there was a policy change 4 to 5 years ago. So you have to keep your ears to the ground. Okay, what is the story? Implementation of metro. So we have implementation of metro. Then we have BEML making the coaches now. Earlier they used to come from China. Now BEML is manufacturing those. We have ACE construction. If you go along the metro site, you'll find a lot of cranes supplied by ACE constructions, right? L&T is there, BHEL is there. So you have metro going on, and then you have associated companies going on. Vande Bharat Express, Jupiter Wagoner, right? Jupiter Wagoner, Tathagat, they went crazy. So how many of you got the crux, right? How many of you got the crux that what is the story and how to analyze stocks from them, like how to correlate the stocks? Is it clear? Any questions with this? I'll allow you to unmute if someone has any question related to story and how to correlate. Clear? Okay, great. So let's move forward. I'll again, okay. Now, let's analyze the stories of the future. ये तो past में हो गया. See, you all of us, all 100 people in this webinar are not here to know something which has already happened, right? We are all interested in what is likely to happen, correct? So what is likely to happen is the first story which is running, like now I'll share only my ideas. So a few ideas which are running in my mind, which I am working to find the stocks for investing. First is renewable energy sector. Renewable energy sector, there is a big push by government of India. Right now, we are dependent on gray fuel. Like we are dependent on a lot of crude oil for generation of power. We are dependent on a lot of coal for generation of power. Government of India is pushing for renewable energy, that is green energy, clean energy, solar energy, wind energy, and all, right? So last few weeks ago I did a presentation on IREDA while explaining this. So IREDA is there, the companies which are manufacturing solar panels, many have gone multifolds already, but still because the requirement right now, we are at 170 gigawatt, we have to reach to 500 gigawatt. There is a scope for 3 times growth in 6 years. If there is a scope for 3 times growth in 6 years, the stock price will also likely to go up by at least 2 to 3 times in coming years. So we are our first endeavor should be to find companies which are into green energy, solar industry, wind energy, and all good companies. I'm not saying just invest in that. We will learn how to find good company. We want to invest in good and stable company. Second is changing food habits. Okay. Now, this is some theme which there is some changes in that. People may agree, people may disagree. It is my opinion. How it is changing, right? The changes which are happening is like when 20, 30 years ago, okay, 20, 30 years ago, when someone would go to buy some non-veg in market, okay, so they will put it in a cover, they'll put it in the black cover and give it. I don't know why they used to give it in a black cover, because anyone looking from a distance will know that you are carrying non-veg. But earlier people used to think that, yeah, we are hiding the non-veg and we are taking it to home. That is how it used to be done, by putting in black cover so that people don't know. But it was a clear indication from 1 mile away. Now, it was only 30 years ago, right? Now, 30 years ago to today, in the food habits, the acceptance all over India, it has come that people have accepted, okay, it's okay eating non-veg, right? And people are, we now I see lot of advertisements of chicken or something like that, which is coming on TV, which is a shift. If you people who are of my age will realize that how uh, hiding a thing to acceptance on TV with the ads, we have come changing food habits. Right or wrong, that is debatable, that is different thing, but we are not here to debate on something which is right or wrong. As long as it is okay morally for us, we can go and analyze. So what is happening is, we can analyze with changing food habits, we can analyze good companies which are in this industry, like food non-veg, typically for fish, feeds for fish, because fish and prawns are typically, let's say, high margin products. So anybody working on the fish products and all will be benefiting out of that. So this is one story which is happening for the future. EV and green hydrogen, we know EV has done a lot. There is a lot of confusion who is coming in EV. But green hydrogen, again, is a renewable energy. But green hydrogen will require specialization. Again, there are companies, L&T, MTR Tech, working on green hydrogen. So you can list it down. These are the companies which I am looking at as a future. Now, I have written only woman. Okay. Now, this was the idea earlier also, but this now looks to be fulfilling. Now, people will say, yaar, ye kya hai? Ye kaun si story woman? How many of you in last people living in metro like Bangalore, maybe Chennai, Delhi, even in small places, how many of you are observing that the presence of woman employee has increased drastically? How many of you agree? How many of you have seen around? When you go to mall, you will see now a lot of shops will have people, salesmen, like girls salesmen. They will on petrol pump. Ladies will be there attending on the petrol, right? This at this level, blue collar jobs. What we say, a lot of women are there in the shops, like for Salesforce and everything, in big basket, big bazaar, and all. They will be there. If you go to the corporate level, again corporate level also a lot of women are working, right? In the colleges also, like if I give the ratio now, you'll laugh. When I did engineering, there were only 17 girls and 1,000 boys in the engineering, right? Now if you go to engineering college, maybe ratio might be reverse also. Not it's a drastic, just joking, it may not be that much drastic, but you can see the journey from when I did engineering, 17 girls and 1,000 boys till today. So there is a lot of changes happening, right? Almost 50-50 it is happening. You would agree that women spend more than boys, right? The girls spend more than boys, correct? So this can be a change. This is something change. This is a long lasting. This is some change which might be having long lasting changes. So if we connect EV, okay, you have a EV scooter, you have a woman empowerment, or I'll not call it empowerment. They are already empowered. Let's say their spending habit. They have more money to spend. You can connect with the EV. You can connect with the like they would like to go for a scooter, convenient to drive. They might want to go for a car which is convenient to drive. They'll be spending more on car. They'll be spending more on two wheelers, maybe clothes, maybe fashion, something like that. So companies in future in this field within India has a lot of scope to grow. Travel and tour, yes, they are going for travel and tour. So these are all the products we will connect. So these are the stories which we are having. Last story for today is UPI. Last story for that day is UPI. So we have covered renewable energy, changing food habits, EV, green hydrogen, uh, women having more disposable income to spend, and we have last but not but the least is UPI. Now, how UPI will help us in earning money in stock market, right? Now, UPI, if you see UPI, there is a very interesting story for UPI. Okay, so be with me. Now, UPI, if you see 8 years ago, 7, 8 years ago, before the demonetization happened, before the UPI acceptance came in, like today, we cannot imagine our life in India without UPI, right? I don't even carry cash, and that must be the status of many people in India. So, but 8 to 10 years ago, we had to carry cash. We will go to someone street vendor, let's say some lady selling flowers, and we had to buy flowers. We had to give her a change, okay, 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 12 rupees, 20 rupees, we had to give change. Now today, if we are going even to buy flowers from a street vendor or something, tea or golgappe wala or any small vendor, do you agree that we use UPI? Mostly we use UPI. You take out the phone, tuck tuck tuck, UPI ho gaya. Now, street vendors, you accept only UPI. Okay. So, rather than cash. Now, what is happening? See, when we are paying by UPI, what is happening is it is going to their account straight away. Okay. So, their account statement is building. Correct. So, 8 years ago, if a flower vendor, she had to prove to some finance company that, okay, I have earning of, let's say, 3,000 rupees. I do a sales of 15,000 rupees a month. It was impossible for her to prove to any bank or any financer. Let's say she wants to expand her business. Flower, she wants some a little big shop, and she wanted to have a loan to have a small shop or something, loan of 50,000, 80,000, small loan. Uh, it was impossible 8 years ago for any small vendor to prove to the bank or prove to the lender, structured lender, that I have so much business per month. How many of you think today, just like that, they can show, okay, this is my bank statement, this is how much I earn in a month? How many of you agree that it is very, very easy for them now to show what is their earning per month? Do you agree? Very easy, right? They can show statement, bank statement, they can take out and show it to any vendor. So now what happens is, microfinance earlier was a risky business. Microfinance was earlier a very risky business where they had to take a call whether we should give the loan to some X person, Y person or not. Today, microfinance has become easier because of UPI. They can analyze a credit worthiness. They need not have that CIBIL rating or something like that. CIBIL rating hota na? So they need not have some structured rating for those people, but looking at their bank statement for past 1 or 2 years, they can decide, okay, this person is earning consistently. What is his earning? What is his expenditure? Complete thing you can make out from the bank statement. And microfinance, the life is easier to give finances. So one big thing which might happen in coming days is finance and microfinance, typically microfinance. Now, microfinance, like someone said, Paytm and all, there are a lot of companies in microfinance. Credit Access is one of the companies, and they are going down because the KYC compliance and all those issues are there right now, which are getting sorted out. But once those procedural issues are sorted out, then microfinance companies are well poised to go up in the coming years. So these are few stories of the future which I am also tracking for shortlisting stocks in coming days, where I'll be interested to invest. A few stocks I have invested with the disclaimer like IREDA and all. I have invested in solar. Other than that, I am in searching other stocks. So these are the stories which I would encourage everyone who is participating here to start exploring in these areas also. Since you are participating in today's program, I would request you to share with me. Everyone has my mobile number. Whichever story you think is likely to happen in future, I would request you to send me a message. Okay, this I think is a good story of the future. And these are three companies. How to shortlist company, I'll share with you in a short while. But these are the three companies which can be looked at. Can I have some promise from you all that you will be working on some story of the future and analyze why that story would be working out in next coming 4 to 5 years and searching for some company? Okay, great. So I have a lot of promises. So we'll have a lot of stocks for everyone. Okay, great. So let's go ahead. Any questions? So far, so good. Everyone is clear with whatever I have present. Any questions? Clear? How to search? Okay. So Neetu is saying how to search. ठीक है भाई. Stories तो हो गई, but आगे कैसे ढूंढने कैसे मतलब? So we have to develop a long-term thinking. ये बात हो गया है. Analyze story. We have analyzed the story, and we will invest for 5 years. So what will happen is how to search. I hope everyone has uh, So let's say, so this is Mukka proteins. Okay. Has everyone created a free account in Screener? I had posted in the group to create a free account in Screener. So this is one of the sites. I'm not saying you have to create in this, but I felt that this is one of very good sites to search something or to analyze fundamentally. So let's say if I want to search something for microfinance, okay. So so what you have to do is, let's say microfinance. Okay, and so you have to put in quote, it will say search everywhere in microfinance. If you click here, it will give 741 results. Okay, so what it will go and search is wherever in the report or wherever it has reported microfinance, wherever in this company's report or they have to do something with microfinance, it will start putting it here. Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, L&T Finance Limited, IIL Finance Limited, Global Capital Markets Limited, Muthoot Finance. So you will have a lot of companies which are related to finance. That is number one. Number two, you will not face problem, because if you go to Google and say which companies are there in microfinance, so those companies may or may not be listed on stock market. Their shares may or may not be available for us to purchase. But when we search in Screener, it will give us the stock names which are listed, which are tradable. Fine. So you'll go through, you can, like here you have credit access, Grameen also, what I mentioned, you can click on this, it will open all its balance sheet, which we are going to learn how to read this, how to analyze for our purpose. Let's say, if you are, let's say like IREDA is a financing company. So it gives loan to people, loan to the renewable energy companies. So if I want to put solar panel and all, I might take loan from IREDA. If I'm taking loan from IREDA, I might mention it in my book also that, okay, I took loan from IREDA. So let's say IREDA. And I say search everywhere for IREDA. Then it will give companies which have mentioned IREDA in their report, like Gensol Engineering, Borosil Renewable, Bank of India, Punjab National Bank, we can ignore. Right. And then you will have some list which have mentioned IREDA in their report, or you can go and search, let's say, microfinance हो गया, फिर क्या चाहिए, fish, okay, fish feed, let's say fish feed, let's say let's say fish. So like that, right? So all this way you can go and search here. Here in Screener, Sujay, here you can put those words, right? Whatever you want to search, your idea, you can put, it will give the companies which are mentioning those in that. Everyone okay? Everyone clear how to search for those companies, whatever you are thinking, and whatever companies you want to search, which are related to that. So it's a easy way to search out, right? No, no. Neetu is saying we had to download. Why you have to download Screener app? You can do it through browser in your mobile or in laptop. No? If they, I don't know if they have app. I don't know about it. If it's free, it's free. Otherwise, you have to do in browser. Yeah. So this is one way of finding. Then you have Google search. You have a lot of methods of finding. There are other websites also where you can find. I'm just sharing one of it, right? So you can go and find out something related to whatever you are thinking. You can just type between the quote and just type. It will throw some companies. Go and see what they are doing, like fermenta biotech. Okay, you can just open and see kya karta hai. Then they will give you some description. Only thing is they will be allowing you some 10 companies to open here. If you are not able to open, just go to their website and see what they are doing. Okay. So far so good. Can I have yes from all of you if you're clear? So you have story, you have location where you can search for stocks which are linked with that story, and then you can move ahead. Okay, great. So Mukka Proteins, I was just open to explain a few concepts of sales and all. So this is the company which is into fish and fish feed. So whatever food for the fish, and they make fish oil and all. It is engaged into that. So just for explanation purpose, I have opened this. So let's go ahead. Okay. Okay, Simran, keep this question for the end. Okay. So once we pause, you can ask me this question. So before we go to the stories, these are some stories like Nal Se Jal. If you see, 4 to 5 years, how it has run. Sometimes what happens is it goes far ahead and then stabilizes for a few days. This is Apollo tires. It's almost like 7 to 8 times Triveni. It has gone 50 to 390, 6 to 7x, HL 10x, BDL almost 5 to 6x, DML. So all the stories have played out well now, and it is likely that they have exceeded the मतलब औकात के बाहर भी चली गई, overheated also possible. So we have to be cautious investing in this. We should be finding for the new stories. Once we have new stories, then we can go to screener and find which companies are working into that. Okay. Now, second thing is once I know some company, okay. Now, if I am able to find out a company, then I need to analyze about the company, right? So, for analyzing those company, I should be able to learn some basics of analysis, how to read the number. So is everyone clear that it is always recommended to start with a story rather than go and search based on the ratio? What I do typically is I search for news. Based on news, I make some uh, projection. Okay, this news may impact which industry might benefit from this, and then go search for the names, for the company names which are in that industry, in that domain. Then one by one, I will open those companies' balance sheet and analyze for the best among those companies for investing into. Okay. So far, so good. You have understood these steps. Whatever I have explained till now: story, company, find good company among those companies, right? Can I have yes from all of you? Yes, these steps are clear. Okay, now we have to understand these parameters and ratio. Now we have reached to the 10 companies, we have a list of 10 companies. Now our next challenge or our next task is to identify good company among those 10 companies. There may be 10 companies in that area, and our second task is to shortlist good company, decent company, balanced company among those 10 companies. To identify a balanced company out of those companies at a basic level, we should, everyone in the stock market, whoever wants to like invest for a long term can be 3 years, 5 years, they should be knowing all these parameters, which is sales, expenses, OPM, EBITDA, ROCE, PAT, ROE. Then we have earnings per share, PE, PB, debt to equity ratio, cash flow, shareholding, inventory days, and debtor days. So I recommend at least all these parameters if you are aware. Then it is easy to shortlist a company and to have confidence on that company. Okay, so let's start. Let's take an example of a dosa seller. Okay, so dosa, everyone knows what is dosa. In South India, we make dosa. In North India, also we make dosa. Most predominantly in South India. So let's take a dosa seller. Okay. Let's say for ease of calculation, if one dosa seller sells 1,000 dosas in a day and he makes only dosa और कुछ नहीं बनाता है वो, maybe some idli or some vada he'll make, but his core business is dosa. Maybe some 10-20% of his business is idli, but otherwise he makes dosa only. So if he makes dosa only and 1,000 dosas in a day and 100 rupees per dosa, so he will get 1 lakh rupees at the end of the day. Now my question to you all is, this 1 lakh rupees which he will earn by the end of the day by selling 1,000 dosa, is this his profit? Is that 1 lakh rupees his profit? Complete 1 lakh rupees is his profit? Okay, how about others? Only few have answered. No, right? So now that 1 lakh rupees is not his profit. It is only sale, or we can say it is only turnover. So we can say that 1 lakh rupees is his sale or revenue from operation or sales turnover. Now, before we go to the next line item, okay, before we go to the next line item, when we are analyzing, when we are watching some news on the stock, now there are some traps, okay, traps while analyzing. So I'm just going to take you through the traps. Trap number one is don't get carried away with the news on sales. Now, what news you'll get on the TV? The sales is going to increase. Okay. Or let's say you will get some news like some X company has received order of 500 crore rupees. Okay. Do you hear such news on WhatsApp forward or something like that? If you are in some group of stock market, do you hear some falana company is going to get order of 400 crore rupees or something like that, right? So ekdam suddenly they'll say, okay, big news, this company is getting 500 crore order, that company is getting 500 crore order. So my the first thing which you should do is don't get carried away with such news. Okay. Second is check what percentage of that order is equivalent to total order managed by that company. Meaning what? Meaning ye hai ki if we go to Mukka, let's say Mukka, if someone says Mukka is going to receive 200 crore ka order, it has received 200 crore order from falana company, you go and check, okay, Mukka is profit and loss. You have to go to profit and loss. And if you see this March 2024, till last year, they are doing 1380 crore rupees business. If someone says, ekdam bada news flash mein, they'll say they have got order of 200 crore for a company which is handling order of 1400 crore sales. 200 crore order is okay. Like it is nothing great that it will not happen that the stock will run away. So sometimes these traps are there. So my first of all, what you should do is whenever you hear this news, falana falana company has got so much of order, simply go to screener, type Mutka or whatever is the company name, uh, open it, go peacefully, go check in this profit loss, how much business they do. If the order book is some 10-20% of what they do every year, ठीक है, स्टॉक प्राइस में थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे होगा, but it's not a exciting news ki within 5 to 10 days the stock price will go up by 10, 50, 20%. No, it will never happen like that. Okay, so this is, don't fall for this trap that it is going to go up. Check how much sale company is doing, what is the percentage. Everyone okay? So don't get into that trap. Second is, let's say if you go and see the sales is 1380, okay, let's say 1400 is the annual sales, and then there is a news flash. This company got a order of 5000 crores. Fantastic, boss. Again, it can be a trap. How it can be a trap? First of all, you'll be happy, boss. Right now, the capacity or the sale what this company is doing is 1380 crore. Now, if you hear a flash, okay, the company has got order book of 5000 crore. That is almost 4 times its annual sales. That is a fantastic news. But if it has to be delivered in next 10 years, then the effectiveness goes down. 5000 crores you have to deliver in 10 years, so it comes down to 500 crore only every year. So though they have continuous business, good news, a positive news, but not such a exciting news that we have to like jump upon it immediately. We can still analyze further and jump on it. If the 5000 crore is next 2 years, then definitely buy immediately, buy the stock immediately. Is this point clear to everyone? How you should receive the news on sales order book? Whenever you see a good order book, how you should be receiving the news? Clear? Trap is clear. News is clear. Trap is clear, right? Okay. So let's go ahead. Yeah, Sujay, you are right. Number of years to deliver that much order is also important, right? When we will deliver, in how many years we have to deliver, in how many years we'll realize the money after delivering the product, all matters. Capacity to deliver. There are a lot of things. So suddenly, if we see order book and all, we should not be excited कि अब तो boss stock it will go धुआंधार तरीके से ऊपर जाएगा. No, it may or may not happen. So we have to be very cautious. Lot of defense stocks are being like marketed. This stock got so much order, that order. We have to take with pinch of salt as of today. Now, second is, we said, okay, there was a dosa maker and that was a sales. So when he's making a dosa, what all expenses will occur? So let's go one by one. What are the recurring costs for making a dosa? What will happen? What cost he might incur repeatedly? Perfect. So product is there, electricity, raw material, batter, right? So in this rice, so we can say he is having fuel, he's having utility, like electricity, gas, he is having manpower, he is having oil, all the ingredients and all rent for the shop, or if he's owning the shop, very good. So all these are recurring costs which are constant and variable, right? Sometimes the ingredient will become costly, sometimes the variable ingredient will become cheap. Okay. Now, what is one time cost for him for making the dosas? What is a one time cost? What he has to incur one time, let's say, if you. So we have equipments, pan, correct? Cookware, shelter. Okay, great, fantastic. What is the emergency expenditure? What can be emergency expenditure for him? Cash reserve? No, no, emergency expenditure. I'm saying what can be his for the equipment or for the operational expenditure. Defective material, right? Defective material can come, or his tawa might break, or his equipment might break. So that breakage and all, it might happen, right? Fire accidents is okay. Without fire accident also, something break, some maybe his gas stove might break, something like that. So those repair and replacement expenditures might come. And uh, what can be a big one-time cost recurrence? What can be a one-time cost reoccurrence, or there may be a. Okay, I'll put it this way. More or less, you have answered. I'll put it this way. See, okay. Before I go to that, just hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Don't type, don't type. See, the recurring cost, we have described the material, right? Material, labor, and utilities like electricity and all, rent and all. One time cost we have defined as his tawa, stove, and all, whichever he has to buy one time. Like he'll have to buy a big tawa, gas stove equipment, the utensils, and all grinding machine, everything is one time cost. He'll use it daily. So that grinding machine he does not have to buy every day, but batter, the material for batter, he has to buy every day. His labor has to come every month, then he'll make. So we have operational cost, which he has to incur on a day-to-day basis. We have capital expenditure, which is one time, which he will put it in the purchase of the equipment, which he will be using for 5 to 10 years. Correct? Are we okay? Are we all in sync in defining operational cost and fixed cost, capital expenditure for the machinery for 10 to 15, 20 years? Now, assume, why I am saying so is, assume he reaches to his capacity, right? Whatever setup he has created, he could maximum sell 1,000 dosas only. Beyond that, he cannot make itself. He does not have enough capacity. Let's say there is some customer. Let's say every day what is happening is there were customers coming to eat 1,000 dosas. Now suddenly the new office opened. So some 200 people more are coming there. So he has to make 1,200 dosa. Now, see what happens is he cannot buy half tawa, right? Half pan for creating dosa. He will have to expand his capacity. If he is expanding his capacity, he will have to bring equipment. And most likely he will have to bring maybe a new tawa, maybe a new stove, maybe new utensils, maybe new grinder to expand his capacity buy 1,000 dosas more. He cannot buy for 50 dosa capacity, for 50 dosa, 100 dosa, 200 dosa. Things don't work like that. Do you agree? You need expansion, renovation, bigger space, and all maybe nearby shop he might acquire and it will expand. But what may happen is he may have to spend, because sometimes you cannot expand capacity for some 50 item, 100 item like that. You will have to expand maybe by capacity by 500 dosas or capacity expansion by 1000 dosas itself. So you'll have to do a expenditure in bulk. Initially, your revenue might come 100 dosas additional for that additional equipment, 200 dosas, 300 dosas, 400 dosas. Ultimately, then it will reach to the full capacity of the expansion. So one time recurrence for expansion is good. Agreed? How many of you agree that one time cost for expansion is good? Correct. But let's say whatever he has purchased, it also has a life of 10 years, 12 years, and all. So there will be a capital expenditure for replacement of old equipment also, which will not add to his revenue, but it will add to its expenditure. Correct? Clear? So there are two types of capex. One is if the capex is being done for expansion, it will help in generating new revenue. But if the expenditure, capital expenditure for heavy machinery and all is being done to replace the old one, it will not increase the revenue, it will sustain the revenue. Both are required, but the replacement will not generate revenue, additional revenue, but the capacity expansion will be generating the revenue. How many of you are clear with that? Expenditure? Can I have yes? Correct. Now, why it is important to know that when we are analyzing a company, when we see that they are spending money, which will come to later how to analyze that, we have to pay attention whether they are spending money, where the expenditure is happening for the replacement of old machines or expansion in a new plant, because both have this subtle difference. So that will make a difference. And which company you would prefer to invest into? If you are investing right now, which company will you prefer to invest into, which is expanding or which is replacing the old machinery? Simple, na? बहुत logical. So these are the finer points. Normally, when we are analyzing a company, we miss this point, finer points, कि भाई machinery खरीद रहे हैं, why they are doing capital expenditure? Is it for replacement or expansion? So we have to take care. So what I am doing is I am trying for each point how you should be analyzing. So coming to sales and expenditure, the first thing what we want in a good company is year over year sales should be increasing. So where you can find this year over year sales improvement, you can find the year over year sales improvement here. Now you can, let's say we have shortlisted few companies, and then we go here. Screener has summarized. You need not calculate. You can come here. 10 years, this company is not working for 10 years, it is for 5 years, 3 years. It has been growing sales by 30 to 28%, 32%, 17%. How many of you think it is a good, decent growth? Yes, no? 28, 32, decent growth, right? So it is so what you have to find is you don't have to go for the best company, maximum chain, nahi. You have to optimize in all parameters. You will see that, okay, expenditure is growing, then you can see the expenses here. Expenses should be also in proportion. TTM is, they calculate for last 12 months. 12 months. Trade till 12 months. Last trailing 12 months. TTM is trailing 12 months. So whatever has happened till date, they will add for last 12 months. That is TTM. So expenses are all this and all. Okay. So we need a sales growth. we need proportionate growth in the expenses. Expenses should not go very much. Operating profit margin should also be growing in the same proportion of the sales. So that is a good company. We'll find out. So we have started analysis of shortlisting of good companies. So among 10 companies which has a decent sales growth, which has a decent profit growth after sales, should be our listing. Okay. Then we'll finish at ROCE. Okay, so we are already 30 minutes in the webinar. So what we'll do is we'll finish our webinar at ROCE. We'll go till ROCE, and then so one ratio will be covering. So we'll end today's webinar at ROCE. The balance will start on Wednesday. So operational profit margin, what is operational profit margin? It is the sales minus expenditure. Whatever is the sale minus expenditure, whatever is the profit, that will come under operational profit margin. It is also called as EBITDA. So you might hear a lot of wording in the channel or on newspaper or in the discussion, high EBITDA company, high EBITDA company. So EBITDA is nothing but sales minus expenses. Whatever is sales minus expenses, that is an operational profit margin, EBITDA. EBITDA expansion is earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. So once you earn that profit, then you have to pay the interest to the bank. You have taken some loan from the bank, so you have to pay interest to the bank. You have to pay the income tax. Now, normally, if you buy a huge, big capex like machinery, we have discussed, then you depreciate that value and adjust in that, so that your depreciation is taken care for the tax purpose also. So you depreciate that asset gradually over the period, over its lifetime, so that that much tax rebate also you are getting from the depreciation. So earning before interest, tax, depreciation, amortization. Amortization is the depreciation of intangible, like a tawa or a gas is a tangible equipment. Intangible is your brand value and all, that will come under amortization. So EBITDA comes under amortization. EBITDA is clear? Can I have yes from all of you if EBITDA is clear? What is EBITDA? Okay. Now, before we go to our first ratio, ROCE, let's understand the capital employed, right? Capital employed in any business. For example, if you are buying a house, what you will do is you will bring your own money. So your own money, owner's own money is called equity. Loan taken is debt. So this is debt. So these are the two terms which you have to remember. Owner's own money is called equity. Loan taken is debt. So when you are buying any apartment, many of us are experienced in buying an apartment. When you buy your own apartment, you have to bring in your own money. You have to take loan from the bank. The total capital employed for buying any house is equity plus debt. So you have your own money is called equity and debt is called total capital employed. Now, ROCE ratio it's a ratio, because why this ratio is used is you have to compare between the industries, industry to industry, you have to mention. So if you want to compare between 5 industries, then you need ratios. So ROCE is a ratio. It is written on capital employed. How it is calculated is operating profit. Operating profit we already know. It's the sales minus the expenditure before all the interest and depreciation and everything is operating profit divided by capital employed. That is how much money how much profit you are able to generate on the entire capital. That is return on capital employed. So this is the first ratio which you can compare between same industry companies. So if you want to compare out of 10 companies, if you want to find which is a better company, so whichever company is having higher ROC is better or lower ROC is better. Higher, right? So this is the first parameter which you can use to compare between company to company of same industry, same field. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so we are already at 10:30. After 1 hour, people might stop learning. So I'll pause here for today. I will continue with all these parameters. All these parameters, what are the meaning of these parameters and how to see. We'll continue. We'll cover some parameters on coming Wednesday. So we pause here so that people are able to go back and see. How you should be going back is open this account in Screener and here just go through a lot of manufacturing industries, right? For example, let's take example. Okay, Mukka Proteins only. You have different peer companies, Godrej, Acrovet, Mukka Proteins. Then let's say if you go to someone HAL, you will have HAL ka pura balance sheet. You'll have peer comparisons. You can compare ROC and all, how it is going year over year. What is the compounded growth? You can go and check between the companies what is the ROC. So you can start working on it before we work on next ratios on coming Wednesday. Okay, so I'll open the forum for question. You can unmute and ask the questions for whatever we have covered so far. Okay, whatever is pending will be covering on Wednesday. Any questions? Please unmute yourself and you can ask. Before we start question and answer sessions, have you learned something new today? Have you learned something interesting today? Can I have yes from all of you if you have learned something interesting, something new, something which you can actually take action, right? Actually, you can take action to find the multibaggers of tomorrow, right? Okay. Recording, I'll be putting late. So I'll be editing and putting late. So immediately I might not upload the recording. Recordings might take a longer time. Okay. Great. So thank you so much for the acknowledgement. Any questions anyone has till whatever we have covered so far? No question. इतना सब कुछ clear है. Okay.
Yeah, Samir sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so so far this session has been great. So let's say we are looking into an XYZ company which
Uh-huh.
has been performing really well
Mm-hmm.
in the last 5 to 7 years.
Uh-huh.
Year on year, it is growing in sales and in terms of profit.
Uh-huh.
But it may also happen that in the future coming years, it may not do well. So
Mm-hmm.
how do we analyze? Like we are analyzing on the past data,
Correct. Absolutely right. Absolutely
right?
right. You had got it absolutely right. Yes.
So how do we ensure that
Uh,
we are choosing a right company and that company will continue performing in year on year in future as well?
correct. So that's why the point number one we are bringing is the story part. I started with a story that
Hmm.
why I'm not looking at a company first. Correct.
Right.
We are looking at something which is likely to happen in future. Like let's say we talked about renewable energy. Now, renewable energy, do I have a number? Yes, I have a number. We need a capacity of 510 gigawatt as per the commitment. Right now, the capacity is 170 gigawatt. I have 3 times journey to grow. Correct? Agreed? You can keep yourself
Yeah.
under.
Right. Right.
So now, as per number, I have something to quantify that. Okay, all these companies in the market have a chance to grow 3 to 4. So अगर कोई कंपनी अच्छा काम कर रही है फॉर पास्ट परफॉर्मेंस, इफ दे आर डूइंग गुड फॉर 5 year, like 5 years, 10 years, they are good, they are into industry, and when there is an opportunity, the possibility of that company failing reduces because it already has a business for next 4 to 5 years.
Right.
So this is how we, at first level, we eliminate the failure possibility.
Right. So we are using permutation and combinations
वी आर
here.
यूजिंग द प्रोबेबिलिटी थ्योरी दैट ठीक
Yeah.
है, इतना धंधा है, फ्यूचर में आने के लिए इतना क्वांटिटी है, इतना क्वांटम है, देयर इज अ स्कोप टू ग्रो. This company has been doing well. Like if someone in our class when we were studying, someone used to get 70%, 80%, 90%, then there is a possibility that he will keep scoring. मतलब फेल हो सकता है, उसमें कोई बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं, बट देर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी दैट ही विल कीप स्कोरिंग. So that is
Right.
one assumption that okay, there is a possibility, there is a business in the future, there is a possibility of growing. That is one thing. Second thing is you can go through their financial reports, like what they are they. Then once you open the financial reports, what they publish, let's say if you go down, you have financial reports, annual reports, what we call. So it's not numbers we are interested into. We are more interested into what they are looking into future. So there is some summary by the chairman or something like that. So they will say, okay, I am. मतलब ऐसा है कि उसमें आधी हकीकत आधा फसाना
Right.
है ना. सो वी हैव टू डिसाइफर कि हाँ कितना, हाउ मच इज द ट्रूथ, हाउ मच इज की, थोड़ा वो भी लंबी लंबी फेंक रहा है कि हम ये करेंगे वो करेंगे, बट 50% वी हैव टू डिसाइफर ओके व्हाट इज, एंड देन वी हैव टू जज. So stock market is more of judging and understanding numbers and taking a calculated risk that way. So that is how we have to go about investing into company from shortlisting perspective.
Right.
Second is whether the company is doing good or not, we will understand by price action. So there is something like you and me, let's say, I would put in any company, I would, let's say, put 5 lakh, 10 lakh, 20 lakh. Someone, a big person in our group might go for 1 crore, 2 crore, but the people who are taking this BML from here are investing thousands of crore. Correct? So one is shortlisting of the stock. Second is the discovery by the market. So if the price is going up, like we'll be learning technical analysis subsequently with our technical during our 25 topics of technical analysis. There we will understand. One is we find good companies. Second is those who are putting thousand and crores, they are also investing 1,000 crores. So they will also be doing some analysis, na?
Right.
And then they will take the stock up. We will follow the leader. जो लेके जा रहा है, we'll keep ourselves invested in those stocks which are going up, and we will have systems to come out where they are not going up. So that will come through technical analysis. So it's a combination of three things. One is story. Second is good stocks within the story. Third is the technical analysis to ride the wave. So this combination of three, risk management, and fourth is our own psychology to handle ourselves during some fluctuations, to keep ourselves calm and quiet. That is the psychology of trading. ये तीन चार का भेल बना के ही बढ़िया एकदम भेलपुरी बनती
Great. Great. Thank you, sir.
है. ओके सर. Any other questions?
So this data also can be manipulated, right, sir? Like,
Yes, yes, it can be manipulated.
right, sir. So volume is one thing which we can like come to know, right, sir? Volume where it's more and
Volume where it is there. Like if we see the volume of the stock, it is more. So that's why we have to learn technical analysis, right?
Yes.
We have to understand technical analysis. We have to understand the patterns, what is happening, because the stock chart patterns,
Yes.
they will give us news. In most of the conditions, charts will tell us well in advance what is likely to happen.
Correct, sir. Yes.
So that's why we have to learn. There can be false breakouts, there can be consolidations. What happens after consolidation?
Yes.
What we should do when the stock is consolidating, that will come to know through technical analysis. So numbers we can analyze, but whether those numbers are true or false, that we can come to know from the charts as well.
Fine. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. Great question. Any other question? Okay, so let's meet again on Wednesday 9:30. We will take up next few parameters. So we will try to complete by Friday all the parameters, so that on coming Saturday, Sunday, everyone can pick up some companies and analyze them for investment, at least shortlist them for investment. So thank you. Thanks a lot for joining today. See you all on Wednesday. Thank you.